Hey y'all, I'm Bird. Thank you for coming to Growth Rising or even coming back. And so here we just talk about things dealing with astrology. We've been talking about Venus, and right now we're going to go over Venus in Gemini and or the third house. So Venus itself, we know that it's about love and money and things that bring us joy and happiness and overindulging and, undecisiveness. And excuse me. And if you don't know where your Venus is, you can always go to Google and type in free birth chart calculator and just know your birthday, the time, and the place that you were born, and you will know exactly where Venus is in your birth chart. So not only will you know the sign that it's in, but you'll also know the house. So if you have Venus in Gemini, first and foremost, you will be more than likely to be a social butterfly. You like to talk to people. You like to share thoughts with people. You like to communicate. That's something that brings you joy, talking to people. You might even find your, value with others based on the communication that y'all have or the conversations that y'all have, basically. People could also see you as a big flirt, which I'm pretty sure people have heard about. Oh, Geminis are this and that. They'll say something like Geminis are not faithful, or Geminis, are two faced, or they can't be in one relationship, yada, yada, yada. But we all know that, well, if you don't know, you're finna learn. So with Gemini and all of the other signs that they say that are hard to pin down in one relationship, for one, we also have to look at it in a sense of we also have to see what aspects that this Venus and Gemini are making to other planets and other signs, and also look at where Mercury is in this birth chart to see if Mercury is happy or not, and to see if Mercury has any harsh aspects, because right now Venus is answering to Mercury, but back to Venus and Gemini. So people could see you as a big flirt, even if you're not trying to. You can be like a naturally charming person because you are very good with your words. And even if you're not necessarily trying to make, someone like you by the things that you're saying, you very well could, just because you have that Venus and Gemini. You know what to say to people that they like. You know how to have those conversations with people that might have them thinking about you even after the conversation is over. And if they get that right mental connection with you, you could be thinking about them well after the conversation is over. Because we know that Gemini cares a lot about what goes on up here. So if you have your Venus in Gemini, whenever you find out, what's going on in somebody's brain, what their mind thinks, what goes on the inside of them, well, in their heads, um, depending on what it is, that can have you like, whoa, this person is my person, or this person is really cool, or I can't get this person off my mind, or this person has such a different type of mindset than what I'm used to that is just intriguing to me. It's something that catches your attention. You may not even be somebody who's necessarily always focused on looks. So like how Venus and Taurus might care, will care more about the way that a person looks on the outside, but that's not the only thing they care about. Venus and Gemini wants to know how your mind works, and that will kind of affect how attractive or unattractive you are, because they want to know what's going on upstairs. And also, if you have this placement, you can be a very good writer, or you can even be a good storyteller. So excuse me, you can be some kind of author, whether it's books or articles or whatever else that you could write. You could be very good at that, or you could be good at talking. You can be like a motivational speaker, or you can read audiobooks for a living and get paid for it. You could also be somebody who likes to travel, you know, travel even to the next town over, it'll be something that you like to do. And you might come across something like, oh, you know what? I never noticed this before. Let's go check it out. And that could be something that's like piques your interest. And now you're kind of wrapped up into that because Geminis are they like, they're like, okay, I'm focused here, but now something else has caught my attention. So I'm focused here. So, they're just like, oh, all of this stuff right here looks really cool. If it actually looks cool. And then, Geminis likes to learn. So now they want to learn about whatever it is that they just saw. So with Geminis, they'll spend their money most likely on things to deal more with like traveling and like books and cars, or taking some kind of classes, or taking some kind of class, something that basically gets them well rounded, whether it's with learning something by the book, learning something by the culture, or learning something by hands on. It's just they like to learn because that kind of stuff interests their minds. They might have if you have this Venus placement, you may have a lot of interest, or you may be very interested on one thing right now, and then you're very interested on the next, and then so on and so forth. And you may even circle back and go back into that same pattern, starting all the way over again. And, or you could be interested in all of those things at once. So you could be somebody who doesn't really get bored easily and doesn't like to be around boring people. Well, people who you may find boring. And also, if you're in a relationship with a Venus and Gemini, just know that, with them having that close connection with you, they're going to want to share their thoughts with you. They're going to want to know what your thoughts are. They're going to want to go places with you. They're going to want to experience, traveling or reading books or buying cars or like any kind of vehicle with you, because these are Gemini things. And yeah, I know that, Gemini, Sagittarius travel, but people don't realize that Geminis like to travel too, even though it's more of not as far off traveling, more local or closer proximity. Yeah, Geminis like to travel also, but Geminis really do like to learn and to see what goes on in other people's minds. So if you have your Venus in Gemini, I want to know what you did and did not resonate with, and whatever you feel like I left out. Have a good one.